Hi, my name is Anjum, and my film was The Enemy Bond, you just watched. About my film, people usually ask me what was the inspiration behind it. So I would say to my actually at one of my recent visits to Pakistan, I realized the impact of war, the Afghan war. Pakistan was not directly involved, but still you could see the impact in Pakistan as well. So I just wanted to add a human dimension to the conflict. Because these are the emotions and feelings you don't see in news. You just hear the conflict, but you don't see these emotions in news. So I just wanted to add some emotions to the conflict. That's it. Thank you. For me, back in 2000, I started reading. I used to be a history buff, and I started reading history on Central Asia, and I was really captivated by what I read, and there were few historic figures I read about, and they were like awesome. So at that time, I realized that I want to, whatever I read, I used to have images in my mind. Sometimes I used to hear sounds as well. So I thought, I thought that whatever I read, I'm gonna make. Nobody is gonna hear those images and those sounds the way I'm hearing. So I wanted to let the world hear and see what I see out of the history, what I was reading. Like my favorite heroes were Genghis Khan, Tamerlan, and So like my favorite genre is war and history. So maybe you could say this movie was a segment of my coming feature war movie. So that's what made me interested. The history and my history books. So that's why. And about my future projects, maybe a short film. Definitely a short film is coming up. After that, my feature is coming, and my feature is definitely going to be a historic war movie, and that's what I love, and that's my passion. So that's my future project. Thank you. In my case was absolutely different from hers, since it's a narrative film and hers was a documentary. So I couldn't get away with a running gun camera. So I had to have a lot of equipment in order to give a cinematic look. That was one thing I needed for my film, for my movie. So I shot it with two cameras, one C100 and the other was Canon 5D Mark II. And then for audio, I took really good care of audio because my set was dark. The whole feeling was the film was dark. So audio was one. I could have gotten away with like a little of out of focus stuff here and there. Although I didn't have anything out of focus, I had a wonderful DP, Daniel Du. So I took care of audio a lot. I had like 4 channels of audio. I used 2 boom mics, and then I used 2 lavaliers on each actors. Plus, I had the camera mics. So it was like altogether like 4 to 6 channels of audio I used because I could not take any chances on audio. And for lighting, although you could see only just a minimum amount of lighting, but believe me, there was a lot of lighting. So we played with lighting as well. My friend Ross Stansfield, he was my gaffer, and he came in with a truck full of his equipment, including lighting and everything. So we used at least 4 Dido lights and lots of diffusers and stuff. So I had a lot of equipment used on my set. There's one thing I want to add to aspiring and new filmmakers like me, that although I said that I used a lot of lighting, a lot of equipment, because I had access to so much equipment, but I have just shot a promo reel with a cell phone, and it came out wonderful. Nobody could tell that it's shot by a cell phone. So if you don't, of course we don't have. We filmmakers, we are a very classic definition of a filmmaker, like lots of ideas and no money. So if you need to shoot a film, a short or anything, please don't be discouraged. Just go ahead, shoot it with your cell phone. You can do wonders as long as you have good ideas. That lizard, actually, just to let you know, I bought that lizard for $300 for my movie. Yeah. And I was planning to return it and get my cash back, but my son insisted that he wants to keep it, and he promised us that he would pay out of his pocket, and we are still waiting. So, but anyway, yes, the importance of lizard was like my grandma used to say that these lizards, they are very smart creatures. They wherever they are, if they are around you, they are smart enough, and they listen to you, and they're observing you. So I know that there might be a myth, but it just stuck to my mind. So I just wanted to give an appearance like those two soldiers. They're by themselves in the cave. They think they're alone, but there is actually a third creature, third being who are watching them and observing them. Plus, the whole film is set in Tora Bora. Tora Bora is a desert area, and I wanted to use the symbolism of lizard. Like a lizard is from. This is a bearded dragon, and it lives in desert. So it symbolizes the roughness and toughness of a desert creature, and that I wanted to symbolize this with. Connect this with the soldiers. Those soldiers, they're in Tora Bora, they are rough and they are tough. And so I just wanted to make a connection between the two. So that's why I introduced a lizard for like two reasons. One, because of the toughness and the roughness, and second, that they're observing, they're smart creatures.
The other question I had was, so the footage of the military stuff, how did you get that? Was it not royalty-free footage?
Actually, well, contacts. I think filmmaking is all about connections and contacts. A very good friend of mine, he served in military, and he had the license, and so he gave me permission to use all that. So actually, I signed up to it, and so I was able to use it. But very few people get the permission, and I got it through a friend of mine. See, actually, that's the reason I didn't go to, all the way to Tora Bora to film my film. Instead, I built a set in my basement for my film. I was the casting director for my movie, and actually, when I wrote the script myself. And when I was writing the script, I had exactly a very crystallized vision of the characters I want to use, of the actors I want to use for my characters. So luckily for the American Soldier, I did a lot of auditions, and there was one I finalized, and just few days of shy of shooting, I had to let him go, and then I did more auditions, and finally this is the one, Mark Middleton. I'm sorry he couldn't be here, so I found him, and he was perfect. And then for the Afghan character, that was the most difficult part, because I couldn't do a lot of auditions for the Afghan person, because there are not a lot of Afghan actors here, so, and certainly not on IMDb. So I just had my eyes on one of my friends, and he was perfect, and he exactly looked the kind of a person who I imagined. So first of all, I requested his wife if it's okay to approach your husband, and she said okay. Then I approached him, and he came out to be, he was awesome. He was wonderful. Yes, he's here. Simon, would you like to stand up? He's the Afghan soldier, Talwar Khan. And actually, my actors were awesome, because I just gave them words written on a paper, and they put life, they put images to the script, and I just gave them the dialogues, and the way they delivered the dialogues, the credit goes to them, to Saimi. He's not an Afghan. He has nothing to do with Afghanistan, but he did his research. He coached himself, and he had some friends who coached him, and there he was. He looked like an Afghan soldier, a true Afghan soldier. But so hats off to you, Saimi. Thank you.
Town. So, in honor of International Women's Day and certainly Women in Film and Television International and all of the chapters, I hope that you leave feeling educated and inspired to seek out other stories, to support female filmmakers, whomever it is, wherever it is, it's the youngest, and even if it's your 8-year-old daughter, get a camera in her hands so that she can start telling stories. So thank you so much to Carol and to the filmmakers.
Just one more thing. Actually, some of my cast and crew are here. I just wanted to thank them. My DP, Director of Photography, Daniel Du. I couldn't have done without you. You did a wonderful job. And my second camera person, Johnny Hill. Do I see him? Could you stand up, please, Johnny? Thank you so much. You were the first one to come and last one to leave. Thank you so much. And I don't know if Ross is here, my gaffer, but I couldn't have done it with an amazing crew, an amazing cast. Thank you so much, Saimi and Yahya and the two Taliban. There were two Talibans chasing this American soldier. Those were Yahya and Shamir. Can you stand up? Thank you so much. Shamir is he's not here, but thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thanks. And my producer. Yeah. Sorry. Yes. Thank you so much.